Hey, hello, and welcome everyone to a fantasy baseball podcast, the Palazzo podcast. Two L's, two Z's. I'm your host today, Britton Allan. Great to be here. Great to see everybody. It's just me today. Our friends, Michael Govier and Mike V, couldn't be here. They had some family obligations to take care of. I was like, well, no worries. I'll be happy to do it solo. The like last time, maybe the camera won't shake as much. I don't know. We'll see. But I was like, I got to talk to my Palazzo folks about some pickups, some Fab pickups today. These are players that I'm picking up in all my Fab leagues. I'm putting bids on. And I also wanted to see if anybody else was picking them up too in our live chat. So let's just get right into it. So y'all know to pick up James Wood. Y'all know to pick up Brooks Lee, like these super hot Fab targets that everybody's excited about. I love those guys, but they're probably picked up in your league, unless it's like a 10-team league. If so, run out there and go grab James Wood, outfielder for the Nats, or Brooks Lee, infielder for the Twins. Super high prospects, and they're producing, they're hitting, and they're going to play every day. So go get those guys. But if those gentlemen are picked up, I've got some other players that I think are kind of must-have players. So let's get to the news first, because Matt Wallner, who is one of my favorite all-time outfielders, which is kind of a lot to say, actually. Okay, maybe not favorite all-time, but I really like Matt Wallner. He's an outfielder for the Minnesota Twins. He's a power bat. He's gotten called up today because Austin Martin went on the IL for the Twins. And as y'all know, Royce Lewis is also on the IL. So they called up Matt Wallner for some depth. I love the Twins offense is hitting like crazy. Matt Wallner is a lefty power bat. Last year, in only 76 games, he hit 14 home runs. This dude mashes. He's a former first-round pick. He's got the pedigree. I hope they let him play. Keep your eye out for Matt Wallner for the Twins. He'll probably be a lefty platoon bat, but I don't care, because he's going to smash home runs when he's in this lineup. That's literally like a 30 home run pace he was on last year. So Royce Lewis is going to be out for a while. Austin Martin is going to be out. So Matt Wallner got called up. That's a sneaky little pickup. Like, no one's going to pick up Matt Wallner. So you can kind of just go in there and grab him and then soak up those home runs. Yum, yum, yum. I love Matt Wallner as a sneaky power bat. Another sneaky power bat, actually not so sneaky, Rowdy Tellez. Have y'all noticed that Rowdy Tellez for the Pirates has been on a nuts heater, like crazy hot, since June 1st? His batting average is 354 with 6 home runs, including a grand slam the other day, 20 RBI. He is smoking hot. And as captain of Team Hefty Boy, I like Rowdy Tellez a lot. He's a lefty bat. He doesn't play against righties, but when he does play against, doesn't play against lefties, but when he does play against righties, dude mashes. So if you're looking for a little power boost at your corner spot, first baseman Rowdy Tellez for the Pittsburgh Pirates is somebody that I'm looking to pick up and just get that hefty boy, squeeze that hefty boy, give him a big hug. It's hard to wrap your arms around hefty boys. My daughter's like, daddy, and I'm like, just do your best. more of me to love. So that's what I do with Rowdy Tellez. Try to wrap your arms around him and give him a big hug if you want corner power, because he's hitting like crazy. And don't forget too that it was only like a couple years ago this dude hit 35 home runs. I mean, I think it was with the Brewers, but yeah, I mean, it's there. He's a young guy. He can still mash. So give me some of that Rowdy Tellez. goodness for my power, especially in like a weekly, when in a head-to-head and you want those home runs. I like Rowdy Tellez a lot. Another player, this is probably talk about bearing the lead, but shout out Michael Govier. He would have been all over this at the first of the show, I bet. But Parker Meadows is back, and he's hitting 2 for 4 yesterday. He got caught stealing, but that's okay. He's trying. He's got to get back in the swing of things. Parker Meadows for the Detroit Tigers is back. You remember at the beginning of the year, all the buzz, the CBS, rates and barrels, everybody's all over Parker Meadows, and for good reason, because he's a 2020 power speed bat, coming in hot. The Tigers loved him. They promoted him. He was on the opening day roster. Unfortunately, it happens, had a tough start to the year. And when I say tough, I mean borderline, like make you crazy, miserable. I hope you're okay, Parker Meadows type tough situation. But they stuck with him. The Tigers stuck with Parker Meadows maybe longer than they should, but they kept with him, helping him try to say, all right, man, we're behind you, work through it. He couldn't work through it. Went to AAA, got back on his horse, baby. Was that song Pony? Got back on the horse, and now he's back hitting again for the Tigers. So Parker Meadows is a great pickup. Remember, this is a 2020 type talent. So I really like Parker Meadows. I would pick Parker Meadows up before Matt Wallner, even though my Matt Wallner love runs deep. He's on like 50% of my draft and hold leagues. So I'm excited about Matt Wallner. But Parker Meadows is probably the guy to go get. Another guy too that the name of the show should be He's Back. And I'll get to Ben Rice, but hang on. I want to talk about these other players that I'm so excited about because they're back. Sneaky under the radar back. And one of my all-time favorites is James Outman. Now, y'all remember James Outman last year came out of nowhere for the Dodgers. And it was on 2020, had a torrid start to the season, cooled off, and then came back. Well, he's been called up with Jason Hayward, and you're like, what? Yeah, Jason Hayward. He's still in the league, and apparently was starting outfielder for the Dodgers. So unfortunately, Mr. Hayward is on the IL. So James Outman, he's back with the Dodgers. Now he's a lefty platoon bat, so he may not play every day. I totally get it. But he is a lefty, and he has a history of being a 2020 hitter plus. And I love narratives. I love Narrative Street. I live on Narrative Street. I park my car. I leave it overnight on Narrative Street. He has a pet rock. And I'm serious. He has a pet rock, and he keeps it in his locker. And his name is Rocky, I think. Not particularly original, but James Outman is a fun, strange dude, and I dig it. I love James Outman for the Dodgers. So he's another guy that has that history of success that you can pick up. He's on the waiver wire just sitting there. So I love Parker Meadows, 1, Wallner, 2, James Outman. Those are 3 outfielders that have a history of success and I think are talented and could get on a little heater and help everybody's team in a lot of categories. And my other guy, my hefty boy with the hefty bag. What does that mean? I don't know. But Rowdy Tellez, like wasn't that the Days of Thunder? Not a bad guy, but the antagonist. Wasn't his name Rowdy, the driver? You had Tom Cruise was Cole Trickle. And then I think the other driver's name was Rowdy. What does that have to do with anything? Nothing at all. I'm just excited drinking my Nespresso, talking baseball. Hang on, let me take a sip. Oh, I love my Nespresso coffee. I don't know if y'all are into coffee. And what I do with my Nespresso is I put it in my my Hello Gorgeous mug. I bought this for my wife Sarah for Christmas a couple years ago. She is also a Nespresso coffee enthusiast, and then I just end up using it because I think it's funny, and I'm not sure she's ever used it. So Merry Christmas, Sarah. All right, let's check the chat. Hope y'all are doing well. Oh, and thank you so much for being with me today. Michael Govier could not be here. Mike VA could not be here. Shout out, boys. Hope y'all are doing well. But they had some family stuff to take care of, so I was like, well, I'll get on. I mean, I did it once. I mean, the camera shook the whole time, but it wasn't that big a disaster, I didn't think. But it was a lot of fun, and I love talking baseball with my friends here on the chat. Let's take a look. Let's take a quick look. Frozen Rope, what up? Good morning to you, sir. Thank you for being here. Oh, the buzz. Mr. Eddie Buzz himself. I'm doing great, Mr. Buzz. Wonderful to see you. How are you doing, man? Tell me how your leagues are going, Mr. Henny. B. Henny. My boy B. Is your name Britton? Is that what the B stands for? I hope so. It's good to see you, man. Thank you for being here. And of course, the man, the myth, the Uncle Ted. What up, Uncle Ted? Good to see you. Thank you for being here. Uncle Ted says, Jon Singleton all day. Wow. I like Jon Singleton too. He's another one of those guys, got that contract early in his career and then didn't perform, but has been in the minors, like a Crash Davis situation. When Crash was like, I was in the majors once for glorious 14 days. And well, Jon Singleton is back up with Houston. Houston kept him on, and he just kept grinding. That's Jon Singleton playing first base because Jose Abreu, man, what a disaster that was. Whoa. And, I like Jose Abreu. I wish him the best, but man, given a 3-year contract, whatever, it didn't work. So now that created an opportunity for Jon Singleton to be up, and he's hitting too. I do like Jon Singleton. I like Rowdy a little bit better because he does have a 35 home run season in his past. So Rowdy Tellez for me. Jon Singleton too is another great call. Excellent call. Mr. Ted, Uncle Ted. Everybody needs an Uncle Ted. You know what I mean? Like Uncle Ted that comes over for Thanksgiving and drinks too much and falls asleep watching the football game. You're like, where's Uncle Ted? And, the adults look at each other because they know he's out smoking in the garage. You're not supposed to talk about that, Uncle Ted. But so anyway, shout out Uncle Ted. All right, what's up? Let's keep going. We got a question. Oh, hey, real quick. What up, Pistol? Good to see you, man. I hope you are having a great day. Thanks for showing up. Any questions y'all got? Let's talk about it. Let's chit chat. You put it in the chat. I'll talk about it. I'll say some weird shit. Probably a reference to the 90s or some type of movie, but I'll try to keep that a little bit on lockdown. All right. Usually Mike V is good at, reining my rambles in, but I'll try. I'll do a better job today. I promise. But today, let's talk Mr. Frozen Rope, Parker Meadows, or Nolan Jones. Wow. These two guys, very interesting. Nolan Jones is back. He was on the bench. He's been sitting on the bench, man, for the Colorado Rockies. So I would take Parker Meadows and see what happens. Parker Meadows is he's only been up a little while, but he's starting to hit. He went 2 for 4 yesterday. I like Parker Meadows. So give me Parker Meadows on that. Nolan Jones, hopefully he works it out. The thing with Nolan Jones is going to be like next year. It's like he had his good 2020 year last year. Now he's a sophomore slump. Next year, Nolan Jones is when to buy back in. That's kind of how baseball works. Like, baseball doesn't let you just be good. Baseball is this mean mistress, man. It's like you'll be good for a while and then you'll be bad for a while. Baseball is the great yin and the yang, the equalizer. Like I was watching MLB Central, and Dan Plesac was on there, and he said he was talking. He was like, "There are two kinds of baseball players," and the person talking to him was like, "Two? That's it?" He goes, "Yeah, two types of baseball players, only two." He goes, "Those that have been humbled by the game, and those that are about to be," and that's true. Nolan Jones is getting humbled this year, but he's still talented, 2020 guy. So, but for this year, for right now, because as we say here at Palazzo, carpe diem, which is French for eat your beignets and your donuts right now. I prefer, because you don't know about tomorrow. I don't know about tomorrow, so eat your donuts and your beignets right now. Grab Parker Meadows because he's hot right now. When I go to the Krispy Kreme, when me and Rowdy Tellez, when me and Rowdy wake up hungover and we want a donut, we go to the Krispy Kreme and I get a big latte and my go-to donut, the jelly. Yes, the raspberry jelly donut is what my go-to donut is, with the powder. It's got the raspberry. I wouldn't call it raspberry sauce because there's no raspberry in that jelly. What's 0.0? It's science. What's in that jelly donut is science. A scientist in New Jersey made that gel with red number 5, corn syrup, and God knows what else. But you know what? It kind of tastes like red raspberry. So give me that raspberry donut. What am I talking about? I don't know. But back to the point. Parker Meadows for me over Nolan Jones. Let's see what other folks say. Uncle Ted says Nolan Jones. If Mike V were here, he would agree with you 100%. He was all aboard the Nolan Jones train, toot with the little conductor hat, driving, putting his train on the track. Love Nolan Jones. Shout out Mike V. All right, let's take a look here. Thank you again, everyone, for being here today on the Palazzo 2L 2Z Fab live stream. Mike V could not be here today. Michael Govier had family stuff to do, so it's just me today, and we're rocking and rolling and talking about a bunch of players that y'all know to pick up. Brooksley, y'all know to pick up James Wood. So we're kind of talking about some players that are slightly, not maybe less talked about, but they're still out there. Guys that I really like. Parker Meadows is a big one. James Outman for outfield, obviously, and Matt Wallner. Three power bats that if they get the playing time, they will contribute. Parker Meadows being number 1 out of those 3. Matt Wallner just got called up today. Y'all remember Matt Wallner from last year, 14 bombs in 70 games. Pretty good. Matt Wallner, former first-round pick. Rowdy Tellez, Team Hefty Boy with me, Britton Allan eating jelly donuts like there's no tomorrow. So that's players we've talked about today, and we're hitting up the chat. Thank y'all so much for being here today. I absolutely love talking fantasy baseball. Let's see what Fantasy Sports has to say. Fantasy Sports, I picked up Boz, Wizard of Boz, Shane Boz. I've got a baseball card, a Shane Boz autographed baseball cards from when he was a Pittsburgh Pirate, and I absolutely love it. I bought it through a charity that he was working with, so I'm all about some Shane Boz, not just because I like the card, but because he's a great pitcher. Also fought back from injuries. Fantasy Sports says I picked up Shane Boz and Gavin Williams. Should I drop any of them and stash Robbie Ray or Jay Springs? Great question. Great question. I'm not dropping Gavin Williams just yet. And I know, as my love child with Matt Wallner, no, Mike V, we talked about Gavin Williams last week. He had a bad start. I ain't going to sugarcoat it. This isn't Krispy Kreme. I'm not sugarcoating anything. It was awful. It was even, I watched it. It was even worse than the line. But that's the truth. That's the truth. He looked bad. I would say this. He's got a 2-start week. He's got his next 2 matchups are favorable. I'd give him a shot. Just just one more week. I don't think you have to stash Jeff Springs and Robbie Ray just yet. I do keep them on your radar, but remember, these are guys that have battled, injuries. Like, you have no idea how they're going to look, no idea what's going to happen with them. And I get it. It can't be worse than Gavin Williams. Well, it can. And Gavin Williams, he's on a good team. He was great last year at like a 3.2 ERA. Give him one more shot. And then I promise, no more Gavin Williams talk. I will never speak his name again, but give him another shot. That would be my advice. I think that's a great question, though. That's also smart too, from fantasy sports. Keeping your eyes on what's next. What's around the bend, because you never know who's going to get hurt, and you could be just chugging along with your team. Like, I don't need to worry about Fab. I've got Julio Rodriguez. I've got Ronald Acuna. Man, a lot of people get hurt. Speaking of Julio Rodriguez, I almost wore my Mariners shirt today because Julio Rodriguez is one of my favorite players, and I've always had a soft spot for the Seattle Mariners, even though I've never been to Seattle, but I've always liked the Seattle Mariners. And shout out Sam Worthing. And so my heart goes out to Julio Rodriguez. He's getting an MRI done. We'll see what the results are, which stinks because the Mariners, I think they're still in the lead in their division. They came out strong. They've kind of been fumbling since, but I like that team a lot. My boy Dominic Canzone, shout out. I've always liked J.P. Crawford too. I think he's just a cool guy. I really like him. Let's see if there's some other ones. Oh, we got to talk about that Rice baby. Dun 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 dun. Yeah, it was like, stop it. Yeah. So Ben Rice, I watched this game yesterday. The New York Yankees playing the Boston Red Sox. Garrett Cole was on the mound. It was close. It was 4-3, 4-4, something like that. And then Ben Rice gets unleashed. Like, Devers hit a home run off Cole and kind of like looked at him a little bit, like, hey, and kind of jogged around the bases. Meanwhile, Cole's trying to act like it doesn't bother him, but he's glancing the whole time at Devers doing his little trotty trot, and he's kind of looking at him. Anyway, so it's the Red Sox and the Yankees. You know how that works. So then, Cole is doing his thing, and then Ben Rice, batting leadoff for the Yankees. I'm so happy you mentioned that, Charles P. Shout out, man. Yeah, Ben Rice is going to be the hottest Fab pickup this week with his 3 home run performance. Oh, that was exciting. Great. So excited for that young man. I'm not a Yankees fan, but I'm not a hater either. I like Juan Soto and Aaron Judge too, those guys. But the Yankees kind of been struggling. They started out hot, and like their last 30 games, it's like they're 5-25 or something. So now Ben Rice batting leadoff for the New York Yankees. Oh, yeah. Talk about burying the lead. I'm glad Charles P. is here. Yeah, Ben Rice is the number one pickup. Got to go get some Ben Rice for the Yankees. So what do you do when Rizzo comes back? When I was watching the game yesterday, I saw Rizzo, like he's in the dugout with his hat on. And what do you do? I mean, you tell Riz, like, hey, man, chill. take all the time you need. We good with Ben Rice, baby. Yeah, that's a great call, Charles P. Give me that Ben Rice. Now we're shaking. Sorry, I got a little excited there. Who gets excited about fried rice? I'll tell you. I'll tell you. My father, Mr. Mike Allen, when I was growing up in Jackson, Tennessee, there was one Asian restaurant, it was called Chinese restaurant called the Asia Garden. And my dad and me, and he would get the biggest plate of fried rice. Like, he ordered it special. Like we went there so often, like the owners knew my dad and would like bring him a platter, like not a plate, like a platter of fried rice. Love that fried rice. I would get the sweet and sour chicken with that raspberry. Hey, this I think I just stumbled on a discovery here. Is the gel in the raspberry donut the same gel they put on the sweet and sour chicken at Chinese restaurants? I think it is. The big red gel people have been tricking us all these years. They've been branded. That's so smart of Big Red Gel. They're like, okay. They're like, look, we've got the jelly donut market covered. We need new avenues. What do we do? I know. We're going to get with the Chinese restaurant, big China buffet number one, and put it on that sweet and sour chicken. Boom. Doubling their profits. God, Big Red Gel is genius. Well, it's so good, that's just how it is. It's so delicious. Good job. Let's see, go back to the chat. Hopefully, people are still here. Like, I can't listen to this nonsense. I don't blame you. Eddie Buzz, what up, my man? Eddie Buzz, the Buzz. Boston cream pie. Oh, my daughter Josie loves the Boston cream pie donut. It's basically a jelly donut with, instead of the red gel, there's some type of delicious vanilla cream, and then on top it's glazed chocolate. Yeah. Oh man, I'm starting to get a little hungry. all this donut talk, and I'm drinking coffee out of my Hello Gorgeous mug. I mean, God, if I had a donut right now, I'd literally. You know what I'd do? I'd say, ladies and gentlemen, love you, thank you so much, but it's donut time. Like if you work for the federal government, you're like, it's break time. It's break time, and I don't care if there are 1,000 people in line. It's break time. I'd be like, ladies and gentlemen, I know we're live streaming, but it's donut time. I gotta get that donut, man. Anyway. So Boston Cream is Eddie the Buzz. That's a great pick. Look, hey, wait a minute. Who's this? Hey, Mr. Mike V. Taking a minute out of doing some stuff to get on the live chat and say hello. Let's all say hello. Hello, Mike V. I love you, man. I hope you're doing well. I did talk about our Gavin Williams pick earlier, thinking of you. But it's okay, because Mike V, no worries whatsoever. I got good news. Mike V is the biggest Baltimore Orioles fan in the world, and why? And how can you not be a Baltimore Orioles fan? Is there a player on that team not to like? I don't think so. Cade Povich, unfortunately, got Rizocked yesterday. Skibbity Rizzler, Omega Alpha Centauri rocked. What did I just say? Don't worry about it. My daughter is 11. I don't know what any of that nonsense means, but she says it anyway. So Cade Povich got rocked by the A's, and I was like, man, I put him in my league too. My thinning hair league, and I put Cade Povich in my auto new league, and I was doing pretty good in ERA. Not anymore. he got like 8 earned runs against the Oakland A's yesterday. Oh man, S happens. What do you do? But bright side. Always look on the bright side. And Dean Kremer is back, and he's looking good. He had a great start. Dean Kremer, or Kramer, it starts with a K, Kremer. He looked really good. Pitches looked good. I watched the start. Solid. I love Dean Kremer. He's going to be on your waiver wire because he was hurt, and he has good starts. Like, don't fall into the Dean Kremer hate. He's a good fourth starter. As strange as that sounds, he's a good starter. He starts for the Baltimore Orioles. I think he's a sneaky, great ad. He's got some tough matchups coming up, including the Yankees. But what you can't stop Ben Rice apparently. But I like him long term, Dean Kremer. And if Povich keeps getting smoked, and Cole Irvin got smoked, keep your little eye on Chayce McDermott. He's a pitcher in the minor leagues. He has nothing left to prove. He's literally like the minor league pitcher of the year so far in AAA. Chayce McDermott, Chayce with a Y. Go to your Yahoo or ESPN or whatever it is, and just press the keep your eye on him button. What the hell is that? You know what I'm saying? Like the little star button. Yeah, just his name's Chayce McDermott. If Cade Povich keeps getting rocked, the Baltimore Orioles may bring up Chayce McDermott to take a look at him because he's killing it in AAA. He's a prospect. All right. Chayce McDermott talk. Mike VA, what up, man? Mike says, everyone, apologies for missing out. Man, you don't apologize. You're out there doing the work on the Twitter. Oh, follow Mike VA too on his notes on X every day at Mike VA. He does these great little tidbits of everything you need to know, what players to watch, things of that nature. He's a great follow, Mike VA. Also follow Michael Govier, MJ Govier, and Big Gentle Ben, Robbie Baseball, all the Palazzo folks. And if you would, if you don't mind, if you could go to the YouTube channel, the Palazzo Podcast, and hit the subscribe button. We're trying to get to 1,000 subscribers, because apparently once that happens, the whole world changes. Now, I'm not a tech guy, but frankly, I'm shocked that this stream is working. But apparently, it's a good thing. So if you would do that, that would be great. If not, I get it. No worries, man. And ladies, so let's get back to the chat. Mike VA, we'll see you soon, man. Hope you're well. Eddie, the Mr. Buzz says glazed donuts are pretty great too. Agreed. There is nothing wrong with a glazed donut. You know what's kind of underrated? Maybe I should do a donut show on the Palazzo podcast. But you know what's great is those sour cream cake donuts. You know what I'm talking about? Like there's no glaze on it, or maybe there is, but it's a sour. Maybe I'm crazy. Maybe I just dreamed this donut up. If y'all know what I'm talking about, let me know in the chat. Yeah, it's called like the sour cream donut, and it's like a cake donut. It's kind of delicious. like VA's like, oh man, I'm sorry I missed this one. You donut freak. Oh man. Again, thank you everyone for showing up. We talked earlier about some players to pick up. Ben Rice, the 3 home run hitter, the leadoff hitter for the Yankees. Got to be a top pick. Everybody's going to run right out and get him. That's Ben Rice for the Yankees, first base. Parker Meadows, outfielder, is the guy I'm picking up in every single league. I'm bidding on him tonight in all my NFBC leagues. NFBC leagues, their Faab runs tonight at 9 p.m. Central. So I'm going everywhere and putting a bid on Parker Meadows. Matt Wallner got called up today. So I like Matt Wallner for a sneaky little power bat. He's a lefty platoon player, but he hit 14 home runs in 70 games last year. I want a shot at that. James Outman for the Dodgers. Jason Hayward went on the IL. So they called up Outman and his pet rock. I like him. He's a 2020 guy from last year. Rowdy Tellez, my boy, my hefty boy, number one power hitter available. He's been on a tear. And yeah, maybe you missed it. Maybe we missed it. Maybe not. And it's not like you can't drop him later. You know, you're not marrying Rowdy Tellez. You're just going to see what he's got left, because he had like how baseball works. He had a terrible start. Probably was going to get DFA'd at some point. But now June 1st, since last month, he's been socking it. God, he's had a 354 batting average since June 1st. What the? I need batting average help. Who would have thought it would have come from Rowdy Tellez of all people? Anyway, he's got a 35 home run season in his past, so he's worth a shot. This is what I like to pick up these players that are kind of falling on hard times. Parker Meadows, James Outman, and they're just fighting through it, just fighting it, fight, grinding out, and coming back. And now they're on hot streaks. That's how it works. What goes up must come down, and what goes down doesn't have to come up, but everything that rises must converge. So come on, Parker, Outman, Wallner, my man Rowdy, and Ben Rice. Ben Rice is just a big time prospect, bat and leadoff. So those are the guys we've been talking about so far. Thank you again for being here. Let's hit up the chat. Uncle Ted is back. Angel Martinez is a Stephen Kwan of the infield for the Guardians. Now that is some primetime Uncle Ted sneakiness, sir. Stephen Kwan, y'all know Stephen Kwan, obviously, from the Guardians, who's batting, 360. Hits the occasional home run. Is like the Luis Arise of Cleveland, which is a strange thing to say. But, yeah, Angel Martinez is Uncle Ted's. One of Uncle Ted's guys. Let's take a look to Mr. Frozen Rope. Can we drop Hamilton? He hasn't been playing much. Someone like Lee Isabel. Yeah, I would 100% drop Hamilton to go get Brooks League. And what Mike VA and I refer to as a New York Minute, written and directed by the Olsen twins from Full House. So you know it's good. I mean, they don't do shit that's not good. Oh, Eddie Buzz. I was going to bring this up. We got to pour out a little Nespresso for one of my favorites, Nick Senzel. Nick Senzel got DFA'd the other day from the Washington Nationals. He was their starting third baseman. Y'all remember Nick Senzel? He was a first-round draft pick a couple years ago. Cincinnati, injuries, vertigo, maybe personality problems. I don't know. He's had a tumultuous career, and finally he got DFA'd. The writing was kind of on the wall a little bit earlier this year. Mackenzie Gore. It was a game where Mackenzie Gore was pitching, and it looked like Nick Senzel was playing third, and it was a play to him, and it didn't look like it was a hard play because every hot corner play is a lot harder than it looks. But he kind of threw the ball a little bit, maybe wasn't max effort, I guess, long story short. And in the dugout, Nick Senzel and Mackenzie Gore literally got into a shoving match. And I don't know the ins and the outs of it, but you don't put your hands on the starting pitcher when you're anybody really. It's like the quarterback. You don't touch the five guys in the start. You just don't. And I don't know, maybe he deserved it. Maybe Mackenzie Gore had it coming. I don't know what the deal was, but it doesn't matter. You don't hit the quarterback in practice. You don't touch him in the starting pitcher in the dugout. So all that being said, Nick Senzel, he got DFA'd. He'll probably get picked up somewhere. I mean, give it another shot. He's still young. So, yeah, I hear you. Trey Lipscomb. Oh, so speaking of Tennessee, here's another Knoxville, Tennessee guy, Trey Lipscomb, cheap source of steals. Yes. Great call for a cheap source of steals. Trey Lipscomb, that's his thing. He kind of reminds me of the guy from Houston, Cabbage. Trey's, right? Cabbage. So yeah, that's what he does. Trey Lipscomb steals. So go take if you need steals, go take a look at Trey Lipscomb because Nick Senzel got DFA and he ain't coming back to Nationals. That's a see ya never situation. Ooh, I love this. Joe Chris, what up? Juan Yepez, yes. The St. Louis Cardinals, Juan Yepez is back. Yeah, I had a big crush on Juan Yepez back in the day. To be honest, I know he's been back, but I kind of wrote him off. Sometimes you just got to let it go. But Joe Chris says, take a look at Juan Yepez. He's on Team Hefty Boy too. I remember back when he was at AAA Memphis for the Redbirds. His Juan Yepez's big thing was was a barbecue restaurant that's in Memphis, Tennessee. The Redbird Stadium is downtown. It was called AutoZone. I don't know if AutoZone still is, because AutoZone is based out of Memphis. But so it's right smack dab downtown, and about 2 blocks west, like towards the Mississippi River, in this back alley, there's a restaurant in Memphis called the Rendezvous, and it's been there for 100 years, owned by the Vargas family. And you walk in and you go downstairs. You walk down these stairs and you hit a platform. And then you walk down another 20 stairs. And then there's this huge restaurant that's in Memphis called the Rendezvous. And it's down these stairs. It's like it's not little, it's huge, but there is a sign, but it's in this weird alley. Like, you have to kind of know where it is or you never see it. But anyway, long story short, Juan Yepez, that's where he spent a lot of his time was at the Rendezvous, because they do the ribs. It's all Memphis style barbecue. Memphis style barbecue is the best, in my opinion. And I'm biased for sure. I lived in Memphis for about 8 years, but there's no sauce. It's pork, barbecue ribs, just with spices. It's a dry rub, and it's salt, pepper, paprika, all other type of spices, secret stuff. And then it's slow smoked, obviously, and it's kind of like addictive. Like, I've had some addictions, donuts, things in my life, and Memphis style dry rub ribs. Oh, so good. And don't get me wrong, all ribs are good. Like, you go to Kansas City, St. Louis has St. Louis style, but I'm just not a big, barbecue sauce guy. Yeah, I just like to just tear into that meat, like a caveman. Arr. That's a Rendezvous, Memphis, Tennessee. Not a sponsor. I wish they were, but anyway. So we're talking fantasy baseball today. Juan Yepez, yes, he is hungry. Let's take a look. Detroit Tiger fan. This should be interesting. Let's take a look. Detroit Tiger fan. What up, Detroit Tiger fan? Hey, you're in the right place. Go get Parker Meadows. Am I right? Am I right? Let's get him. And Justin Henry Malloy also killing it. So Detroit's got some buzz. Eddie Buzz has got some buzz going on with some exciting players. If only they could get rid of Javier Baez, which they can't. I picked up Yilber Diaz, looked up his last start in AAA, 13 Ks in 6 innings pitch. Now, let's see, he throws 95 and has a wicked cutter. You know anything else? He is starting Monday. I did not realize that. Detroit Tiger fan, but this is why the live chat's great. Detroit Tiger fan spreading his knowledge on Yilber Diaz. Looks like he's a stud pitcher. So y'all look him up in the I wish I could right now, but if I start pressing buttons, I mean, who knows what's going to happen? I don't know. But y'all take a look. Detroit Tiger fan says, take a gander at Yilber Diaz. Super hot AAA start, 13 Ks, throws late 90s, 90, 95, 98. That's when I peaked. I was in college, 1995, 1998. Peak Britton. not as many ribs in the donuts back in those days. Wicked cutter. He's starting on Monday. Great call, Tiger fan. I am definitely, you know what I'm going to do? Tiger fan, I'm writing, and I'm going to tweet something about this later. Yilber Diaz. And thank you so much for being here, Tiger fan, and everyone else for coming and participating. Mike VA and Michael Govier could not be here, but we wanted to keep the live stream going, talk about some players we already talked about. Obviously, Brooks Lee, James Wood, super hot prospects. Got to get those guys. Parker Meadows, outfield for the Tigers. James Outman, outfielder for the Dodgers. Matt Wallner, outfielder for the Twins. And then infielders we like, Rowdy Tellez and Ben Rice. These are the best pickups in Fab, I think, and I'm sure we may be missing one or two, but also Kremer for the Baltimore Orioles. He looked great his last start. I watched it. It was good. He looked good. Final line was good, and with Cage Povich getting blown up, you may also want to take a look at Chayce McDermott in the O's system. And according to Detroit Tiger fan, Yilber Diaz is making the start for the Tigers on Monday. Keep an eye on him. Let's see. Eddie Buzz says, I can't. Ooh, is Buzz, man, you're too nice. Y'all are too nice. You know, one thing I found about the Palazzo audience and the people that come to the chat, they're just like nice, good folks. Like, you know, like we love fantasy baseball. We love baseball. I love baseball. I watch baseball. I could literally all day yesterday. Like, I could watch baseball all day, every day. It's kind of like a obsession, passion, and that's what's fun about this is getting on, talking about our teams, talking about players, and everybody's just cool and nice, and it's a lot of fun. I mean, the people like Eddie Buzz and, you know, all the great people on the chat. I mean, y'all are the ones that make this so much fun, and that's why I love it. Let's see who else. Oh, look who's here. Hang on. Hey, Mr. Chayce. Big Gentle Ben. He and Robbie Baseball do, I think, and of course I'm biased. I totally admit it, but there's nothing wrong with being biased towards good stuff, and that's what Big Gentle Ben and Robbie Baseball have on their prospect show. It's on Monday, so tomorrow. Please check it out. If you go to YouTube or Palazzo YouTube channel and hit subscribe, then you can get notified on, you know, when these podcasts start. So they do one Mondays, the Prospect Power Hour with my man Ben Chayce and Robbie Baseball. King of the is it king? Maybe that's not right. President. Yeah, that's it. President of the Jose Suarez fan club, all the way back to Dingers. And if y'all know what Dingers is, you know what Dingers is. It's a Robbie Baseball podcast. Straight up Canadians talking baseball. It was awesome. But now Robbie's hanging out with Ben and the Palazzo podcast, which is great. So much fun with those guys. Let's see what else we got. And that's right. I can't mention this enough. And thank you, B Hanny. B Hanny's on top of S, man. Let me tell you, Rice Baby. That's right. Shout out Vanilla Ice and who he stole that track from, David Bowie. Rice Baby. That's right. Go to your waiver wire right now and just be like, Rice Baby. Dun 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 dun. Because he is hotter than lava, fire, molten lava. 3 home runs yesterday, man. The guy's mashing. You gotta ride it. I mean, you got to. That shooting star. Will he go in a slump? Of course. Baseball is going to humble him too, but as of right now, ride that shooting star. It's like Super Mario's, you know, Super Mario. Dun 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 dun. Dun, dun. You know, when you see that star, you hop on it, and then you're invincible for like 7 seconds. But man, those are great 7 seconds. That's what I tell my wife. Disregard that last comment. All right. Let's see. Oh, wait a minute. I see an all caps post here. Eddie Buzz, the Bizzaz, tell Mike V8 to get the new O's ownership group to free Kobe Mayo. Yes, he must be free. Man, they've got so many good players. Norby, Mayo, Westberg, Heston Kjerstad. He was like the 2nd overall pick from out of Arkansas. It's crazy good. Yeah, but you know, K. Povich is getting blown up. Like one of those guys is gone. I don't. It's not going to be Garrett Crochet because he's at his innings limit. But I think it's going to be like Eric Fetty. I would be I love to gamble. Thank you thank you, Royals, for losing a very egregiously large amount of money yesterday for me with getting one effing run at the Rockies. One run against Austin Gomber. One run. That's what we're anyway. So yeah, I'm not better. Yeah, but they're going. One of those guys is going to the White Sox for Eric Fetty. That I would lock it in. Dun, dun, dun. We'll see what Mike Villa has to say about that. But they got to get somebody to add that rotation because everything else is locked down. The Kimbrel, like all that's locked down. Their offense locked down. They got to lock down the starting pitching. Got to. They need another piece. Cade Povich is not going to do it, unfortunately. Let's see. Oh, wait a minute. Oh yeah. Hey, this is awesome. Ben Chayce is here to drop us some knowledge. Chayce McDermott, he's a O's AAA pitcher. McDermott has really worked this season on a consistent delivery, and is now producing solid walk rates. That's some analysis. I talk donuts. Ben Chayce actually talks real baseball analysis. So thank you, Ben. Chayce McDermott, shall we say, has been approved. Chayce McDermott for the Baltimore Orioles. He also goes on to write, just saw a recipe to make s'mores. Okay, you got me right, just right there. S'mores, my all-time favorite non-donut dessert. The graham cracker, the chocolate, the Hershey's, rectangle, not rectangle. What do you call that? The long rectangle that has a name. Don't know. And then, is it a rectangle? I don't know. The square, you put the Hershey square on it, and then you put the large jumbo marshmallow. And then what you do is you put a sprinkle of cinnamon on top. Mush that sucker, or stick it in the oven, and you've got the most delicious thing ever. Anyway, I digress. Just saw a recipe to make s'mores using a glazed donut, putting a marshmallow in the middle, and then grill it. Yeah. Now that is genius. So when you're done picking up Rice Baby, Parker Meadows, Rowdy, Wallner, Brooks Lee, he's not available, but all those guys, go get a glazed donut and do the Benjamin Chayce, putting a marshmallow in the middle and then grilling it. Wow. You got to be careful though, because I mean sugar that'll liquefy quick. So you got to put something under it, maybe indirect heat, maybe put it some aluminum foil, perhaps. Yeah, that sounds good. Look at me talking. Like I'm really getting into this. I'm working on the fundamentals of how to make this happen, like in my head. Thank you, Ben. Let's see. Charles P., what up? Thank you for being here, everybody. Thank you, Charles. Britton could take down Chestnut in a donut. Now that's a bold statement. The willpower is there. The ability, I don't know. I don't think anybody, didn't they ban that Chestnut guy because he was just winning everything? It's like if you go to a casino and you count cards and you keep winning, they're like, sir, right a refusal. You can't keep winning. You can win somewhere else, you just can't win here. That's what they told old Chestnut for the eating contest. That's hilarious. All right, let's see. Ben Chayce has something on my boy Matt Wallner. Just a bit of Twins info. Wallner is at best going to be on the short side of a platoon. That's true, 100% true. He's not a weekly lock league guy. Not at all. I hope I didn't say that. If I did, I misspoke. He is a daily moves guy. Like if you got a place on your bench and that you see a little number by his name, you check your lineup every day. You see a number by his name. If he's in the lineup, you start Wallner. because you got a good shot at some home runs, because that's what he does, home run hitter. But he's not going to play every day, not even close. So that's why Parker Meadows is going to play every day. I would pick him up number one. And Outman and Wallner, they're the kind of, see how they do, right? We know Wallner can hit home runs. He did it last year. We know James Outman can do 20-20. He did it last year. So that's why these are all spec ads. I mean, if we knew what they were going to do, it wouldn't be any fun because we'd already know. But, just in case they get back to last year's level of success, that's what's for. And also s'mores are delicious. Let's see. Charles P has got a comment. Thanks again, everybody, for being on the chat. Absolutely love it. Love y'all. Jake Irvin has been lights out. Do you think he will keep this up? Yes, I'm all in. Mike V brought up Jake Irvin last week, even before the 8 innings pitched, start for the Nationals. Jake Irvin, everything looks good, and when you watch him, he's just a very, very good pitcher. He's not Garrett Cole. He's not a crochet strikeout angry man. He's just a solid, great pitcher. Super sneaky. I think we talked about this last week. Mike and I did. I think he gets confused with Cole Irvin, and people are like, I don't want Cole Irvin. Different guy, totally different guy. Two different people. Cole Irvin is in Baltimore. Jake Irvin is in Washington. Jake Irvin is having a great, solid season. 100%. Go grab Jake Irvin. I would pick Jake Irvin if he was available in he's not available in any NFBC leagues, but if he's available, go pick him up. I'd pick him up before Dean Kremer. Irvin's been great. Good call. Charles P, thank you for being here. Let's see. Mr. Buzz. Totes legit. Yep, looks legit. Too legit to quit. Too legit. Okay, there we go. Yeah, that's what we're going to do with that one. Let's see. Ben has got another one. Brady House. Very interesting. Brady House for Washington. He could be up soon, even though his numbers aren't pretty in AAA. And, that happens. Like Ronald Acuna's numbers weren't all that great in AAA, and it's because he was bored. He was tired of it. He's like, I don't belong here. I don't know what I'm doing here. But Brady House has got a long, high prospect pedigree. So that's a great call from Mr. Chayce. If you got spots. So Eddie respectfully disagrees. He won't be up this season. Let's see. Juan Yepez. Oh, yeah. Juan Yepez we've talked about, and his love of the Rendezvous restaurant. Let's see. Is this a new listener? Hey, what up, Joe? Joe G. Hey, I just subscribed to your channel. Really like your take today. I see a lot of different fantasy podcasts and no one pushing Rowdy. You can't push him, dude. You get next to him and you're like, he ain't moving. It's with me. Team Hefty Boy. Thank you for the kind words, Joe. I really appreciate it. Thank you so much for saying that. Yeah, you're right. I'm not. I'm not sure that Rowdy Tellez is completely an afterthought, but he's hot. So thank you very much, Joe, for the kind words. Great having you here. Appreciate you. Let's see. Ben Chayce is talking again about Brady House. He's been working on things. It's going to be different. Yeah, man. Fantasy baseball is supposed to be fun. That's why it's nice to talk about these prospects like Brady House. And our other friend, Yilber Diaz for the Detroit Tigers. Talk about a sneaky good ad, a good comment. Yilber Diaz for the Detroit Tigers. We'll see what he does. But he's starting tomorrow, according to one of our listeners here, a Detroit fan. All right. Let's see. Oh, hey, look who's here. What up, Joe? Joe Lowry. Good to see you, brother. Come for the fab, stay for the food days. Yeah. I get literally, I start talking about s'mores and donuts, and I can hear people clicking off like see and never. Like, I can't help it, man. I got a donut problem. All right. Well, hey, it looks like we're coming up on an hour. So let's take one quick look back to the guys that we talked about today. Thanks again for everyone being here. It's very appreciative. Thank you. Y'all make this so much fun. I love it. We talked first. Obviously, y'all know James Wood, Brooks Lee. Got to get them. Got to. But they're probably gone. So then I would go Parker Meadows, outfielder, James Outman, Matt Wallner, Rowdy Tellez, Ben Rice, obviously. Ben Rice is probably number 2. So Brooks Lee, James Wood, Ben Rice. So hot. 3 home runs. Ouch. And Rowdy Tellez he's been on a super hot streak like nobody's business. One other player to talk about. I'm going to throw this out there. And I guess this is kind of like the end of the show, like bomb, not bomb, but you know what I mean? Like I'm just going to put this out here and then I'm going to be like, bye. Before everybody starts calling me an idiot. Keston Hiura. And you're like, what? I'm like, yeah. Keston Hiura, Hiura. Keston Hiura. And you're like, that rings a bell. Well, he was a Brewers the top prospect in the Brewers system for years. Second baseman, infielder. They brought him up. He struck out at like a 40% rate. It was kind of like a Joe Adele situation. Like they tried to make it work, they couldn't, and he just kept striking out. Eventually, he got like DFA'd, I think, by the Brewers. Well, he now plays for the Angels. Second base, Luis Ringfo on the IL. Keston Hiura bats second yesterday for the Angels, Los Angeles Angels of Anaheim. Second, DH second, and he'll play second base. He's been hitting. I like to say he's been hitting. He's hit in every game he's played too. But still, it's better than not hitting in every game you played. So keep your eye on Keston Hiura, the Angels' former top prospect, back in the league, Major League Baseball, hitting second for the Angels. Is he going to strike out a lot? Yep. But wouldn't this just be great? Because I remember him back for the Brewers, and I rooted for him. I'm like, this is the kind of story I love. Please get on the weird Keston Hiura bandwagon with me. There's plenty of room. You don't need to reserve your seats. Open seating. Come on in. Join me with Keston Hiura of the Angels, just to see what happens. He's batting second. He's not in the lineup today. No idea why. We'll look into that. But he bat second yesterday and he got 2 hits. Keston Hiura. Let's keep it faith. I'm putting $1 on the Keston Hiura in all my Fab leagues just to say, hey, Keston, top prospect, hard times. Now you're back. I'm rooting for you. I'm doing it just to root for you. I don't care what happens. I'm just doing it to root for you. Good job, Keston Hiura with the Angels. Let's take one last look around the chat again. I hate to keep beating a dead horse, but I really appreciate everybody being here. Y'all are awesome. So cool. We'll be back to our regular show next week, the Power Prospect Hour with Ben and Robbie tomorrow. Check it out. I always get on the chat and check it out too. It's a great show. And Michael Govier and Mike V and myself on Friday. And then this Fab show is on every Sunday. So everybody's going to be back. It was just one of those days where people's schedules didn't work out. So those are the players that we were going to talk about today. Brooks Lee, James Wood, Parker Meadows, Ben Rice, James Outman, Matt Wallner, Rowdy Tellez. Whew, hefties. Hefty. Those are all home run hefty boys with me going to the rendezvous, getting the dry rub ribs, going to the donut store, Boston cream pie. God, I'm hungry. And don't forget Keston Hiura for the Angels and Yilber Diaz for the sneaky Detroit Tiger pick. Thank you, Detroit Tiger fan, for tomorrow, Yilber Diaz. So that's it, everybody. Thank you so much for participating. I shout out to you. I salute you. If you don't mind, please go to the YouTube channel and subscribe. It would be really great. And I'll did just the button stuff, whatever. It's all appreciated. Thank you, guys. I will talk to y'all soon. Have a good day. Good luck.